Hi there, this is Mazik, coach of Final Boss, and this is a response to BossNasti's update, the Pro Gaming Show episode 5. Basically, this is a video, which I'll link you to in the video here, where he decided to go off on myself and one of my friends, Flamesword. Basically, he quoted Flamesword wrong. What he said was that Flamesword said that his team did not need to practice, did not need to go over videos and strats from Halo 3. Now, basically his misquote was that Flamesword meant that after a certain point, watching videos and stuff doesn't come down to it. It comes down to you already know what you're supposed to do. Basically, it just comes down to you playing the way you need to play at that given time. At the end of Halo 3, the teams already knew what they were doing. There was obviously the reason to watch videos came down to just finding out if players are still doing the same things wrong that they needed to stop to a long time before that. Making sure they don't get back to their old ways of playing. Basically, he misquoted him saying that he didn't think he needed practice. That was complete and utter BS. And then he quoted me from an episode I did with one of my friends at Podtacular. He said I quoted saying I was not a coach, that anyone could coach FB, and that I did not consider myself a coach. And my response to that is, honestly, I consider myself more than a coach, and that's why I say that. I am a coach and manager, is the way I see it. I don't just deal with just the coaching aspect of what's in the game, because honestly, they're the pro players, they already know what they're doing. It's the best 4 players in the game in Halo 3, in my opinion, and whenever they got together, they won a tournament without me. Why? I just came along because they thought I could be better for future things down the road with potential sponsors, potential clothing line merchandising, and that's the reason why I got picked up. They thought I was more of a cash cow for them to be a financier. Basically, I have no problem with that. I'm also a good coach. It's what I do. It's what I got good at in Halo 3. That's why I got on the team. But basically, the quote that I had on there was that I believe that anyone could have coached Final Boss at any tournament last year after that lineup was set. And that you could even have a cardboard cutout of Master Chief with a pair of Astros and they would have still won a tournament. And honestly, I still stand behind that because those are the best 4 players in the game. And they won with Coach Matty. I think that they could have won without a coach the entire last 2 tournaments. Because when it comes down to it, the coach in Halo 3 was not as valuable of a member to the team, in my opinion, as what it was in previous Halo games or other games like Counter-Strike, or where it actually requires to have a coach like all the time. Now, I think that a coach adds a great point to any team. You know, it helps having a coach. It's more you don't have to worry about thinking about so dang much. But what I'm having a bit of an issue here is him saying that I don't think that I'm a coach at all, because I never said that during this interview. Basically, I want to show a couple things to you, Mr. Boss Nasty. Below this video, I'm going to link you to every single thing that you quoted from, which I think you should start doing from now on, because if people saw the things you were quoting from, they would see that you really, honestly, are full of shit. Because basically, you're quoting people, and it's not exactly what they're saying. And so, let me just go ahead and read you this definition here. This would be the definition of defamation of character and slander. Generally speaking, defamation is the issuance of a false statement about another person which causes the person to suffer harm. Slander involves the making of defamatory statements by a transitory, non-fixed written representation. Usually an oral spoken representation, like your podcast. Basically what that means, sir, is that because you are not exactly quoting and then citing where you're getting your quotes, you are doing something illegal. And I will be taking an act upon this. So I'm just letting you know what you're doing is wrong. And if you're going to sit here and make quotes, false quotes even, you need to at least put a link so then people can call you out on it and don't have to go looking for this information. Now, once again, I'm going to be posting all these links below. I'm sure Mr. Boss Nasty Silva would love to take a look at this. And I'm pretty sure that everyone here would be more than willing to go over to his page and let him know that what he's doing is wrong. And I'm going to try my best here to have this guy shut down. Because it's gotten to a point where it's just him making up BS and just trying to make himself look good. And the fact of the matter is, I can say this because it's the truth. Boss Nasty, you have never coached a team. You have coached a team outside of the circuit. I correct myself there. You have never achieved any type of status on the circuit other than attendee. You have never coached a team that have made any type of gesture to place well. You have basically the audacity to call yourself a pro coach after achieving none of these accolades, none of them. And for some reason, you think that because you actually have a sweater or a hoodie that says pro coach on the back, and you have a website, and you have a guide, that makes you a pro coach. And the fact of the matter is, it really doesn't. I mean, it's getting old, dude. I think we all grow up at some point, and I think it's about time that you probably matured up a little bit. Because anyone who has the audacity to go out there and say that they don't need college, and that college is a waste of their time, like you did in your Podtacular, or was it Losers Bracket interview? I can quote that one. That was Losers Bracket interview round 44. I quoted as in not needing college, and that it was a waste of time for you because you were doing something else that was better. But considering the financial gains that you will not show, you have no real proof behind yourself to say that you've actually made a financial living. So, other than jumping from person's house to person's house and living with other people, which I don't think is really making a living. So, please do me a favor. If you're going to sit here and quote me exactly. If you're going to quote my friends, quote them exactly. And if you're going to quote anyone related to MLG, leave a link to where you got your information from, because I found not a single place where Flamesword quoted not needing any type of video practice or however it was you worded it, saying they don't feel the need to practice or go over strats. Like I said before, Halo 3, they already knew what they were doing at that point. You don't have to go over strats for 60 hours a week like you say you do. So maybe you should go pro first, and then people can take your responses seriously, because it's gotten to a point where you just look like an idiot. Anyways, you take care of yourself, Mr. Boss Nasty, and I hope everybody else out there enjoyed this.